Hi guys, Patrick here, Not Poker. Going to be doing a 15L video today, one of our first 15L videos in the series, going from 2L up to 200. So we're getting there with our stakes. Just again, a quick shout out everyone so far who's liked, commented, and subscribed. Thank you so much for the support in these videos. These videos are getting a little bit of traction and are getting a few more subscribers per day, and people are starting to comment and get together, and I'm starting to build this community, and I'm really enjoying it, and I want to continue putting these videos and the content out there for you. So please keep liking, commenting, and subscribing. Click that bell icon. All the normal shenanigans in every YouTube video you see, unfortunately, but please keep that support going. It's really helping me and motivating me to keep on with the content. So without further ado, let's jump into our 15L session 1. Gonna stick on a little bit of music again. And diving straight in. So again, 15L, we're going to be playing pretty aggressive, but also we are going to be exploitatively finding some scenarios where we can overfold, overbluff a few scenarios, and we are going to be looking to try and see if we can find some edges in the field. So table 1. Cutoff should theoretically be doing a lot of 4-betting with 10 jacks, queens, ace, king, so this board is going to heavily favour us, so we could get away with doing absolutely anything. I don't mind small, I don't mind large. I'm going to start with a small bet on a small roll. I think I could get away with all sizes here, and we can put a lot of aggression on a lot of turns and rivers. Exploitatively, if you've got a really tight player who might not be 4-betting correctly, you want to just be a little bit careful with some of your hands and some of your ranges there. I just want to do a quick apology just in case for anyone who might be wondering why my eyes might be squinting sometimes. I've got a new lighting with the green screen, and it is it's a bit like it's very strong, so it's kind of burning me out. So I promise you, I am pretty pale, but I look even more pale, a bit more like a zombie with this lighting. Aces, table 1, that's a good start. See if we can get some action here, table 1. We do. Very dry texture. We can easily have some checkbacks here or some bets. We're going to check back on a low roll. Relatively neutral board. We're going to have deuces and threes here a lot. We're going to have nines. We're going to have all the overpairs. We're pretty heavy on the nut advantage, but we're going to check back on a low roll. Villain's going to have some eights, some 9-8, but we can easily be ahead of a lot of hands and get value from worse. Flush draw, straight draws a 9, 10 jack, queen 10, etc. Let's get some money out of those. We're trying to dodge the bet 3-bet at these stakes because people tend to underbluff, I think. So this is an amazing card for our range, but not for our hand, because technically villain still has king 9, king 8, and he's going to have a lot of total bricks. So it's hard to get action. I think I'm going to try and target specifically a 9 here and maybe induce some bluffs. So I'm going to go for a 10% here and call a raise. Again, it may not be the most technical optimal size, but I'm just trying to exploitatively get the most money I can in every single vacuum. That's my priority. So I managed to get a call here from 8-6 offsuit, so I'll take that. This gentleman's all in for 3 more bigs, so good luck him. We're going to give him some action for the video. Good luck, good luck. I don't feel good on this one, I'm not going to lie. Boom. No, nice answer. Oh, pocket kings now, table 2. The game is real easy to play when you're getting given cards. And we get 3-bet as well, lovely. Nothing to say here, easy 4-bet. Roughly 3x out of position, 20-21 is fine. And obviously calling shove. We can mix some call and I think there is a small amount of 3-bet with the jack 10 off as well, and the blind on blind we're going to call this time. And easy call. Good luck, good luck, good luck. Table 2. First one's us. And the second one's us. Nice hand, nice hand. Look at how well I played it, guys. I got it all in with kings. We've rolled a fold with the king jack offsuit, but we can definitely use this as a 3-bet. If we have some, again, exploitative reads that this guy may be super over-folding, then we should just be pure 3-betting. And we're going to be defending the king 4 suited. We can be 3-betting. We've rolled a call. I believe we can do a small amount of leading, but mostly checking on table 2. And versus this large size, I'm going to be mainly calling. You could do some check raising, but... maybe folding and calling. My music's the YouTube's being funny, that's why my music's cutting out. We're mostly checking table 2 to protect the rest of our range. The Queen of Spades is a bad spade though, because it's one of the kind of Queen X combos which we'd like him to have to try and stack, but still irrelevant. We can absolutely have some check raises and some calls. Against super large bet, I'm more incentivized to call. However, because we're so deep, I would like to start raising and putting some money in. I'm just going to go with my roll and just play a call. And then check the river. We can still potentially check raise because we have a very strong hand here. With the board pairing, I'm cautious to see what his sizing is before I think about check raising. If he goes pot or small over bet, I think it's only call. Nines can, again, mix between mostly 3-betting and sometimes calling. We've rolled low again, so we're going to call. Table 2, we can absolutely do some check raising as well with our flush, but we decided to go for a call versus the large size. Table 2 with the aces, again. Aces is a good hand. We're going to bet this time. I'm going to size up a little bit because of the queen high board on the big blind. And an easy check back with the 9s. Table 1, we're going to look to just try and get to showdown versus like ace 10, 8, 9, a pair of 7s, something like that. I don't think there's any value to be had. I don't think we should be calling either in this line. Versus 10% in theory we should call. I actually think that we technically never win versus one big blind, but I'm not folding for 10 to 1. Oh, okay, I'm wrong, but I don't think villain should be 10%ing there with 6s. I think a check is fine. I think if you had a hand like mine, he might consider a very, very small size, but... Again, by the way, my Twitch stream and Discord link will be in the description below for anyone who's interested. So please check that out if you are if you're interested in having a look there and watch me get ironed out. We're on the leaderboard. We are on the leaderboard, yeah. I was going to say, we've been dealt so many good hands, we must be doing well for the leaderboard today. Mostly calling king queen offsuit with some 3-bet. We always roll low, that's about our standard at the moment. Playing a check as well. We can technically have queens and jacks here. We can have queen, jack, ace, queen, king, queen. We can have a lot of hands here again to defend with against UTG. Could potentially think about raising. I'm going to call. I think I'd prefer to have a diamond mostly, but we can absolutely consider a raise. It's a little bit thin, but it is technically there. With the lower connectors, I'm not going to be 3-betting. I'm going to be 3-betting mainly hands like 9, 10 suited and above on the small blind. And checking table 2. Against overbet, so this now starts to come down to villain type. So our hand is relatively strong. The only technical hand stronger than here would be like 2-pair and sets, but this is going to be a call. And the river's good because it's blocking Queen Jack and pocket jacks. So we're going to be checking. And we're going to be calling the river, I think, even though I'm probably not thrilled with it. This is one of the best hands we arrive here with. And we block pocket queens. So this hand technically is a very good one to have. Just an easy call on the river. Nice hand. It's really, really refreshing to see someone actually go for a triple line. I think he absolutely can have a small size on the river there as well. But mostly he should be large betting. But the problem is when he goes bet, he's so polarized that he should really be shoving or giving up, in my opinion. Because it's just so easy for me to have a queen or a jack there. He needs to nuke it and get maximum value when he's got a good hand. My goodness, we are running well. Table 1, open 8-9 suited. And call a raise. And we flop top 2 because we're a lord. Could do some leading, could potentially delay check raise. You know what, exploitatively, I think this guy's got a lot of ace highs. So I'm just going to give him the chance to improve. I'm not going to be looking to lead, even though you could, easily. So does this opponent have any hands here that I can get value from? I don't think he's going to hero call me with ace, king, ace, queen unless I go ultra, ultra small. I think the only hand he can get to the river with is something like pocket sevens. I'm thinking about sizing here. I think I'm actually going to go 10% again. And I'm just going to try and guarantee a call from ace high. Yeah, I'm going to do that. I've rolled a 3-bet on table 2 with the sevens. We could also call here. And I got a call from ace high, which is nice. Ace jack high on table 1. So nice little exploitative adjustment there. Table 2, we're going to bet range on this board in a 3-bet pot for a nice small size. And checking table 1. Again, this opponent is very, very tight. Or relatively tight anyway. And he's gone for a very large sizing. So I think we're mainly incentivized to call. Against large, we could think about doing some leading on this turn. Because we're going to have a large, a much more concentrated range. So I could consider going for 20% here or check. I think both are completely fine. I'm going to go for a small lead. I don't think Villain's range has a lot of Queen X in it when he goes really large. Also, it buys us a really cheap river. We could also just get binned, which is fine, but this hand doesn't, I don't think it matters too much. Very bad river, and we're blocking the straight draws with, like, we're blocking like ace jack, 10-9, jack 10, hearts and spades, so this is a very bad combo to go ahead and bluff with. So I'm going to check and give this one up. And just lose to ace high, I'm probably guessing. I don't like leading this into the king. I think we're just going to wave the white flag on this one. He's probably wondering whether to bluff his ace high. Or maybe he got counterfeited with like a pair of eights. I think when he pots this, the way I've played this, this actually doesn't look like a king. This actually looks like a counterfeited pair, like 9s or 10s, if I had to guess. I don't think he's going to pot this river after I leave the turn small there. He could do, but it looks like I'm quite weak, so that's my guess. I'm going to call table 2 with the top pair. Checking. Now we're trying to think about what sizing Villain might take because we're multi-way, so we're a bit more concerned. I'm going to exploitatively think about folding now, even though we could potentially have the best hand, just because it's going to be really hard to get to the river and have to cool down multi-way. We have to be very, very tight, very careful. If I had a hand like I think Queen Jack plus, or if I had a spade, I might consider continuing. But I'm going to fold multi-way here. A little bit tight, but again, I don't feel like I'm making a huge amount of money by hero calling down Queen 7 here. Oh no. Ew. It's unfortunate with the queen 5. I mean, it's still queens and 8s. No, we would have won queens up with 7. Fuck. Shit. Oh well. It is a limp pot, but I mean, we don't beat really any queens, so I don't mind folding there. Table 2, this guy's folding to 90% of 3-bets over a pretty large sample, so I'm going to add this to a 3-bet bluff. Ace-3 offsuit isn't a very good candidate, but against a 9-1 shot, I'm going to go for it. And we get 4-bet, there you go. Justice. 8-7 can be an open, but we need a high roll, and we don't get it. One thing as well, I was going to say this in the last video and I completely forgot. If there's any feedback that you guys have about these videos, so like, you can do some 3-betting with queen 5, not queen 4. If you guys feel like there's content or types of content that you would want to see, so if there's types of games, a different site, obviously different stakes, but we're climbing stakes up to 200, so you'll get your wish there, and we'll still do some micro stake stuff as well. I don't really play tournaments and sit and goes that much, but if you guys have recommendations or requirements or requests, please let me know in the comments below. Please let me know. And as always, please like and subscribe as well. Easy pitch table 1 with Jack 7. Table 2 is going to be a pretty decent board for both. We have a bit more of a nut advantage, but the button's going to easily have hands like ace queen and king queen here and pocket nines, and a lot of pairs and a bit more concentrated. So we're going to be checking a decent amount of the time. Betting is also fine, but I think with the jack kicker, I'm going to be playing a call, allowing villain to bluff some turns, allowing the pot to maintain small to medium sized, and just playing in flow. And I'm not going to be leading, I'm just going to be playing a check. Kind of hoping our villain checks back or doesn't bet too big. So we can still easily be ahead here, but we are still theoretically losing to most value, unless this guy is considering queen 10 as value, which is a bit thin, but not impossible. And checking again. So we look like we're a little bit... this guy's marked as a recreational, so we could easily look like we have a hand like ace high with the ace of hearts or something here. We could easily look like we have a 9 or a pair of 10s. So we don't know if a recreational is going to overplay a hand like queen 7 suited, if he's going to overplay a hand like queen 10. We also block 10 jack and we block flushes, so this is going to be a call. And nice hand, nice hand. But again, if he's got queen 8 here, that absolutely means he's got other hands that we can beat, so totally fine to call. I think we had really good blockers there. We're blocking the flush, blocking the straight, and against a recreational with a good price who can merge, I think it's a pretty easy call. Against a different player for a different size, I might consider some different options. Could potentially 4-bet here with ace queen, table 2. I think it's a little bit thin. I think I'd prefer to be suited. You could probably sneak in a small amount of 4-bet, maybe. I think on a tighter stake like 50, I'm going to play a little bit more. It's a bit tighter. Defending 7-4 suited, table 2. I'm trying to work on my timing, so I'm trying to let the timer go down at least 2 to 3 bars before I make an action. Maybe it's a bit sway and try hard, but I tend to find it actually makes a difference. If you check and if you call and snap check, it can sometimes give you away a little bit. We are absolutely bottom of range table 2, but we just don't really have anything. We're not going anywhere. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to check the turn, and if villain checks back, might bluff some rivers. Bluff. Life is bluff. We're going to be folding versus the big bet. Top table 1. Jesus Christ, we run well. I think it's a small blind call. We still continue with small, I believe. I think you could do some large sizes, but I think small just generally prevails. We're going to run and we're going to play the next 86 hands. I think that'll probably take 5 to 10 minutes until the leaderboard is done. It says here that we're doing pretty well, so let's see if we can keep that up. We've had aces, kings, ace king, ace queen, the whole shebang. Table 2, I think even blind on blind, we're primarily betting range. I think we can do some checking. I think both are okay. Gonna play a check this time. And an easy continue with ace high. We have the backdoor flush draw as well. And now we pick up a gutty. Playing a check. Versus large on table 1, we could potentially think about check raising as well. We block ace queen, but that's irrelevant on table 2 because villains should primarily be 3-betting ace queen. I think they do as well at this level. I think against super large, we just had better hands to call with. I'm going to fold table 1. We could have potentially check raised. We have better ace highs to continue. We have pairs to continue. We have all of our queen X to continue. We are very protected. Even though in theory it would probably pure call with ace high gut shot, but I think at 50 I'm just going to play a spot like that as a fold and just keep it simple. In hindsight, I actually wish I just kind of played more theory-based and just called there rather than exploitatively folding. I don't know. I don't have loads of hands, but this guy's tagged as a massive nit. No offense if this guy's watching, but so that does scare me for starting to have some more hero calls. Maybe I should just go against that and just play theoretically. Who knows? Let me know what you think. Even though I'm pretty sure it's a pure call, but we'll go with it. We're going to need an extremely high roll to defend the 5-4 suited. We don't get it, so I'm going to be folding. And I'm going to be 3-betting the king jack off, table 2. So we're not going to have a whole bunch of 6x, but we are absolutely going to have an advantage with loads of really strong pairs. The cold caller can easily have some mixed pocket pairs, and he can have some like ace highs. I don't mind going for either. We've only got king jack here, so I think I'd rather go ahead and blast this. I'm going to half pot this multi-way. I'm not going to block. I think I'm probably just going to bet shove this. Although on this card I'm not. Because one of the hands that villain calls with is going to be backdoor spades, like ace jack of spades, ace queen of spades, king queen of spades. He's going to have loads of pocket pairs. Pocket 7s are now picked up an open ender. Pocket 8s have now got us dead. So I might check this turn. I might also check this turn sometimes with my overpairs as well for protection. But I think without a spade in my hand, I'm just going to give up. I was planning on barreling though, but this is a pretty bad card. And this guy just wants to start sledging in. It's quite unfortunate. Playing big bet or check, table 1. With a nut advantage, we could potentially do some some slightly smaller betting as well, but we're mostly going sort of half pot, 3/4, things like that. On the paired boards, getting value, max value out of 9s, 10s, 8s, etc. And betting again. Again, big bet is nice. He's not folding 10s or 9s or 8s. He's not folding like ace jack, ace queen of diamonds. Oh wow, we always run really well in this. I mean, we should have been ahead anyway, but technically the jack's actually a bad card though, because it's blocking, it's making it harder for him to want to call. You know what? I'm going to make an exploit adjustment. No, I'm just going to shove. He might still call with 10s and 9s. I think he probably could, to be fair, because I could just be bluffing. I wanted to bet small maybe against 8s and 9s and 10s, but now I'm just going to stick it in. We've got less than 1-1, just going to shove. He shouldn't really fold 10s and 9s anyway, but... Going to check table 2 on the low roll, even though we would be betting here sometimes. I think I could have got more out of him had I exploitatively bet small. So I think I wish I had done that now. I know it's hindsight, but that was what my instinct said, was not to shove. Even though it was less than 1-1 SPR. With no diamond or spade, I'm just going to play a check back on the turn and just try and get to showdown. Interesting river. Ace-2 soft is primarily a fold, blind on blind, I believe. If this guy leads, it's going to be really awkward. So we lose to a lot of hands. I don't think this guy checks a 10 twice. He can easily have a hand like any 9x. I don't think he bets a jack-x for this value, so he's either pure bluffing or he's got a good hand. I unblock diamonds and spades. I'm going to let it go. I think at this level... Again, I know I'm supposed to call, I think, in theory, but against large, that didn't bluff the turn. If he had a straight, I think he would go big. I don't think he would go big with a jack. I don't think he would try to now bluff in the river with ace high, king high. He could easily have some small diamond combos, but again, I think he might lead those on the turn. Again, we're probably supposed to pure call, but I think at this level... Excuse me, I'm spitting everywhere. With the way some of the regs play on the rivers when they're betting big. I don't know, it feels like a spot that wouldn't be bluffed on the river for a large size. It might be, I don't know. I know we're supposed to call in theory, but I don't like these big cooldown spots. I hate them at these levels because from experience, they're just generally not worthwhile. And you'd rather find calls like we had with the Queen Jack of Hearts, which are like easier calls. We can check or bet table 2. It's probably a small bet with range, but I'm going to check exploitatively against a wreck. Going to be 3-betting the ace king, small blind versus cutoff. And we're going to be calling table 1. I'm not thrilled with this huge size, but it's just an easy call against limp. Good turn. I like the snap check. I don't like the jack. I think we're just going to be checking. Table 2, we timed out is why we checked, but we would be checking this a decent amount of the time as well. Our villain had a 9, table 1. That's fine, I guess. On a 6, I think ace-king mostly wants to be checking now. I'm just trying to get to showdown. Don't think this guy's going to start doing too much bluffing with most of his showdown on this turn. Even though he has got a bit of an advantage. He can start doing some bluffing with some king-queens, some king-jacks. He can bet some of his pairs. I think this hand is just going to be a pitch on the turn. I know, again, in theory, you would want to call this, but I'm not going to play that type of style at this game. I'm just going to fold. Ace-king can easily be ahead here and should call, really, to 1 bet. But I'm happy to just fold against... He was an 18-11-1, so I'm just going to give him credit. Turning 2 pair, table 2. This is a bit of a wobbly 2 pair because 6-7's out there. All the higher hands like ace 8, ace 5, ace 8, ace 9 are all in there still, but I think we can go for value here. I'm going to go half pot. I think we're just about good enough to bet here. As said, with some of these spots, when I target recreationals or tighter players, in a lot of these situations, I tend to deviate very heavily from GTO at like 25 NL, 50 NL against the tighter regs, and just sort of play a bit more of a bluff slash fold strategy. I'm going to bet really small table 1 and just target like ace 7 or like king queen of clubs, something like that, and we get the call, which is nice. Going to be calling table 2. You could 3-bet this. Both are fine. We can do some leading or checking. I've rolled a 2, so I'm going to check, but you could absolutely be primarily donking this board. And I think with these suits and these cards, I'm going to be floating 1 with ace jack. Again, we could donk the turn. We could check. Both are completely fine. The reason for donking would be where we've got more of a condensed range, we've got more 4x, etc. But with such nut showdown value, I'm just going to try and play a check against the button and try and show this down. I think we could go for a small size or check table 1. I'm going to check with the 9 kicker, I think, 4 ways. This is really weird, table 2. It makes me want to call. The problem is I know if he's got ace high, king high, he just probably just gives up. He shouldn't really bluff. I don't think he bluffs those. He bets half pot on the turn, snap checks back the turn, the flop, sorry, snap checks back the turn, and then like nukes the river. Like that's not something an overpair would do. Checking table 1. I'm just gonna fold, I think. I really want to call that. But again, I'm really scared of making these big hero calls at this stake, where I can just basically value bet and bluff in really easy scenarios over and over again. Pocket ace table 1, I think I can get behind betting or checking again. I really don't mind either. We block 6-8, we block 10-8. But we can absolutely get some value from hands. Our hand's not really strong enough to call a check raise multi-way. So we get value from betting and checking. Both have merits. 28 hands left on our leaderboard challenge. See how we do. Against a donk, table 1, I think it's an easy call with the 8s. You could just be value betting worse. I don't think raising makes any sense. I think just call. And the 10's not that scary because we block 6-8. And he snap checks. I don't think he checks at something like a 10. I think he's going to have a 7 or a missed hand. I'm trying to think exploitatively. I'm going to go 40%. I think that's a nice size against a 7. Or like pocket 6s. And we get the call. Nice. Again, I'm not worried about getting binned. I'm just thinking exploitatively. Like, I don't mind being bluffed a little bit more than I would be concerned about at a higher stake. And I'm also not worried about betting small exploitatively and getting binned at these levels. So, you know, it's fine. Calling table 2 with the king queen suited. You could potentially do some 4-betting as well. Both are fine. Roll a check table 1. But yeah, I'm mainly just vacuum orientated, and I don't mind overfolding a bit and over bluffing here and there. I think with a gut shot, backdoor nut flush draw, and ace high, we can easily call one stab. This is really irritating table 2 because we've got the nut shot, backdoor flush draw, 2 overs, but we can't call against pot. He's also short stacked as well, so I'm just gonna fold. I'm guessing that's just ace high, probably ace king, something weird, but there's nothing we can do. Now, the question comes is how much showdown value do we have table 1? I don't think ace 9's winning. I think we're going to be losing to one pair a lot. We're blocking jack. I don't think we're going to win if we check, so I'm going to bluff this one. I think in theory you would check here because we got ace high, but I'm going to go and attack something like a 10 or an 8. Targeting his sort of random stabs with like 5-6 on the flop and checking the turn, things like that. getting raised, it just makes it a really easy fold. If we had a hand like ace king, ace jack, I'd probably just check, but blocking the straight and also losing to any one pair and also checking and having to fold to bet, I think I like leading that river there. And I think I like it for a large size to try and fold out those sort of marginal third, fourth pairs against a rip. I think we've done really well with this. I might be wrong, but I feel like our leaderboard's quite good. Open the ace-9, table 1. Easy open with our ace queen. Against button, I think when we open hijack, we're primarily 4-betting or folding. Our opponent looks quite trigger happy as well. Exploitatively, you might consider just calling to keep his bluffs in, but I'm just going to play theory. And against a smaller 3-bet, I'm going to size down with my 4-bet. Although we are deeper, so I mean theoretically he should just be scaling up to like 8 here, 8.5 because of our stack sizes. Then I'd go like 24, 25 with my 4-bet, but it doesn't really matter too much. In 4-bet pots we can bet and check ace-high boards. Both are fine. We can check and protect our hands like pocket 10s, pocket jacks, pocket queens, pocket kings, etc. With some of our checks. We've rolled 14, so I'm going to play a check. And 3-bet the 10s, table 2. We're probably just going with this. I would think opponents... Well, I say we're pretty deep, so opponent doesn't have to have ace-king, but... Easy call. Checking the turn. When we check the flop, we can easily just be beating all his value hands like ace-10, ace-jack suited sometimes as well. Mostly checking table 2, but we can absolutely do some range betting if we want to, I believe. We're just calling table 1, nothing else to say. King's a really good card because it's now blocking ace-king. Some more combos at least. Rolled low, so we're going to check the table 2. And we have to call the river, but we're not thrilled. It's just a nit. Well done. I mean, we're like 130 bigs, and people are still not 5-betting ace-king. And then he just bets the minimum on the flop, bets the minimum on the turn, and then bets the minimum on the river. Like, it's irritating to see because he makes 100 bigs, whereas he should make 160 bigs. He can't even stack ace-queen. It's just really, really tilting to see. And we've finished the leaderboard, so we're going to finish it on that one. Are we really going to get screwed on both tables in the last 10 minutes? So we 3-bet check back. We just beat hands like 9s and 10s. We beat we beat hands like 7s and 8s. We beat bluffs. We block queen jack of 10s, clubs and diamonds. There you go. Yay, we bluff catched. I think you should just be checking ace king there. I think that's a bit of a weird line to take. Anyway, so I hope you've enjoyed it, guys. Please comment on the video below. Please like and subscribe, and any feedback you have on the videos, please let me know. Thank you so much, and we'll see you in the next one.